Good evening. Welcome to the Spiritual Speakeasy, where the bar is always open and all spirits are always served. We are here on the 15th of February. I hope everybody survived Valentine's Day. We had an investigation with Paranormal Task. Sorry, that was a deep breath. Paranormal Task Force last night, a private investigation at Cowtown, and have some very exciting things to share with you all coming up for Haunted Wichita. So you all want to get your tickets for Haunted Wichita. It is coming up. I probably should put my glasses back on and be prepared to tell you like when it is coming up and that type of thing. Let me look at my calendar because I want to give you the right dates to go on and check out the webpage. Haunted Wichita is the 27th and 28th of March. That was a whole story sentence right there. We are going to be at the Kansas Aviation Museum on Friday night. And then Saturday, we come back for some speakers and a tour, an investigation, public investigation at Cowtown in Wichita, Kansas, which is going to be a lovely investigation. We spent all evening there yesterday, excuse me, and it was absolutely amazing. Hi, Greg. Welcome. Thank you. Excuse me. Did a lot of talking last night. Dry throat. It was absolutely an amazing place. It was very, very active, very active. You can spend a lot of time there. For me, one evening was not enough. I am hooked. I am hooked for good. So that is coming up, and you want to get your tickets for that. That's going to be super, super, super exciting. So last week, I did this thing on anime, one of the anime shows, Dora, hey Dora, and how that links to the bloodstream and plaque and statins, and kind of went down pardon me, kind of went down the rabbit hole on that. And I wanted to go down another rabbit hole because these things are firing at me like crazy this month, and just thought that I would take you down some things that maybe you didn't realize. So tonight's episode is going to be on however many of you watched the Super Bowl and watched the new commercials. If you noticed, there was a commercial with Pokemon. It had all famous stars, some Olympians, and they were relating themselves to, the qualities of Pokemon and how they felt so close to the Pokemon. It's a very sweet commercial. So with that being said, okay, I just got this in. Hang on. I have AI that, yes, I do use AI in some of my research. Okay, gotcha. So I wanted to make sure that before I read it out loud that it supported what I thought. Otherwise, I was going to say this did not connect the dots here. So anyway, I do not have permissions to be able on this show to roll commercials that we've not paid for. So go to Super Bowl ads and look up Pokemon and stars, and you'll see the commercial that I'm speaking of. So I want to tell you some things. First of all, there's a lot of Christian groups that believe the Pokemon are demons and you have to catch them, or they possess you. So there's a whole backstory there. And so this commercial was run, and I'm like, well, Pokemon, like my kids play the Pokemon game. They're adults now. Their grandkids play the Pokemon stuff. I love Pokemon. I have Pokemon backpacks and Pokemon t-shirts and things like that. So I also have Labubu. So it tells you where I'm heading with that thought. So I'm watching this commercial, but there was just something off about it. And I'm going to relate this because next week I'm going to talk about a religious group that came onto the scene and with some really high dollar, $100 million commercials during the Super Bowl. And that's going to be my next thing next week. But I wanted to bring this in first before I got into that because it's two deep ends with spirituality and religion. So I have my notes in front of me because this is a lot. So my question to AI was the Pokemon commercial And then in my world, I immediately related it to the song Call Me Sunshine or Call Me Little Sunshine by Ghost, who's an amazing band in concert. Love them. So there's nothing against any of these things. I need to preface this podcast with that. But the commercial says in the middle of it, every time you meet a new one, it feels like you're meeting a new part of yourself. Always there. So when you think about that, you know, and then the commercial goes on, oh, she's so smart, she's so this, she's so in tune, he's so this, he's so fast, he has lightning speed. And it kind of goes through this whole thing, and it's I have this, and the person's identifying with what that is. So that's the whole purpose of the commercial. It's an identifying thing. So Pokemon, let's talk about this. Pokemon, for those of you guys that had kids that are younger, or maybe grandkids, Pokemon are really fun, and you want to collect them all, and the adventure begins when you start with your first one. Every time you encounter a new Pokemon, you're encountering a new aspect of yourself. They are always there. You just didn't see them. But once you walk into the world and your eyes are open, then the Pokemon become visible to you. So I ask you, what does that sound like? And if you want to talk, I cannot share your name, or I can share your name. It doesn't matter. Put your opinion on there. Go ahead and text in your opinion. It is a form of shadow walking. It is a form of shadow work. It is a part of our shadow, and we are integrating those various parts of our shadow within us. So there's three different things. Pokemon aren't creatures you catch. They're creatures, they're part of you, and they're things that you've discovered. They have a name. They need to be integrated. And they're used in battle, whether it be psychological, spiritual, or real world. And those are the same aspects of ourself that we use. The commercial says they will always be there. They will always be there. You know, what are the lyrics to Little Sunshine? I'll get to that if you're not aware of Ghost. The commercial says always there. Not you create them, you discover them. You meet them, you integrate them. So I find that really interesting. And that's exactly what you do, you know, in the pieces of yourself that come out in the spirits that you work with, if you're a spirit guided person. We put on personas, but aren't those personas actually bits and pieces of ourselves? We have a weak personality. We have a strong personality. We have things that help the other parts of our personalities be better and stronger with other people. Now, if you go down the conspiracy hole, you can take that a step further. Pokemon are demons. That's the conspiracy, right? They are demons. Christian fundamentalists have been saying this for years, since the very beginning of Pokemon. Pokemon are demons. They're teaching kids to summon spirits. They're normalizing possession. They are yokai. They are spirits. They are demons. They are mythological creatures from Japanese folklore. The entire premise is that you encounter a spirit or creature. You capture it by binding it or contracting with it. You train it, which is you work with it and you strengthen the bond. And then you command it in battle to direct its power towards a goal. That's not a game. That is real spirit work. That's what we do when we work with our spirits. Let me say that again for those people who are in the back. You encounter a spirit or creature. You capture it by binding it or contracting with it. You train it. You work with it and you strengthen your bond. And then you command it in battle, which is directing its power towards a goal. This is not a game. I repeat, this is literal spirit work. Demonology, the summoning and binding of witchcraft, the partnership with non-human entities. And people have been doing this for generations and ancestral centuries and centuries and lifetimes and lifetimes. But this is framed fun for children. An entire generation was trained on the mechanics of spirit world and spirit work and have no fucking clue. No clue. You learn to encounter spirits. Pokemon appear in the wild, all different places in the wild, right? There's water Pokemon, there's land, there's sky. What? The elements? There's elemental Pokemon? Think about that for a second. Mind blowing. You encounter the Pokemon, the spirits, they're in the wild. You discern which ones to work with. You catch the ones you want. And if you have too many, you have to let some go, or you have to trade them, and you have to decide which ones work well with each other and which ones work well with you. You build relationships with them. You train them, you level them up, and you evolve them as you're evolving and leveling up yourself, because the battles get bigger and bigger. Then you command them and you use those in the bigger battles. Whoa. That is practitioner training. That is complete practitioner training right there, disguised as entertainment. Every time you meet a new one, you meet a new part of yourself. The key line. They are not external. They are internal. Every creature you catch is a part of your psyche, a shadow aspect, a power you didn't know you had. A demon, in the Jungian sense, is an autonomous... Sorry, it's been a really long day. Low sleep. Autonomous complex, a subpersonality, a spirit aspect of yourself. Charizard, the fire dragon, is your rage, your power, your ability to burn. Pikachu, the electric magnet, mouse. He's a mouse, but he has this electricity thing on his tail and he can shoot lightning. It's really cool. He's really cool. You can charm. You have speed. And you have the ability to shock. Gengar, a ghost Pokemon, is poison. Your shadow, your darkness, your ability to haunt. And Alakazam is a psychic. Your mind, your clarity, your ability to see. The fact is, each one of these is a facet of who we are. And when we start catching them, we're not just capturing an external creature. We're integrating into a part of ourselves. We're bringing in another piece to the puzzle. The commercial says they were always there, because they were. We just didn't see them. That's shadow work. That's demon integration, not Catholic Church definition demon, not biblical definition as we've interpreted the Bible demon, but the demons, the thoughts, words, and deeds that we have created in our minds and spoken out loud to other people. The things that haunt us, the things that we carry through time, the traumatic events that stay with us, that become part of us. They were always there. We just didn't see them. If you have questions along the way, please text me your question. DM me the question. You're not being possessed by external demons as in, Seven or a Baphomet or any of those. You're meeting a part of yourself that was always there and learning to work with it. Now, that's the Pokemon side. Remember, I said at the beginning, for those of you who are just now tuning in, I had a question. The question was about the relationship of the Pokemon. But then my next question was how to relate to the ghost song, Call Me Little Sunshine, or Little Sunshine. So the lyrics are, little sunshine, won't you come my way? I want to be with you night and day. You bring the light into my darkness. You make me whole. It also goes on to say, you call me, I'll always be there. Pokemon, they're always there. They've always been there. Little sunshine is not an angel. Little sunshine is the demon or the shadow, or Lucifer, the light bringer and the morning star. Ghost is saying the thing you think is dark is actually what brings you to the light. The demon you fear is actually what makes you whole. The shadow you reject is actually your power. But you have to learn to work with that power. The creatures you encounter, demons, shadows, aspects, are part of you. Meet them, integrate them, and make yourself whole. The connection. What does this mean? Pokemon, ghost, shadow work, demon integration, your current processes. It's all the same. It's teaching. First of all, the demons are inside of you, not Catholic Church demons, the negativities, the dark side of our thoughts, the things that we're taught not to think about. Parts of you that you haven't met yet. Every time you encounter a new demon, you're encountering a new part of yourself. It's always there, just waiting to be seen. Integration is power. When you catch a Pokemon, you integrate the shadow aspect of yourself and you gain access to its power. Before you integrate, if you're afraid of your rage, Charizard is wild, uncontrolled, and very dangerous. When you're afraid of darkness, Gengar haunts you and poisons you. When you're afraid of grief, another one might bring you down through sorrow or drowning. After integration, your rage becomes focused. Charizard obeys your commands. Your darkness becomes useful. Gengar does your bidding. You don't get rid of the demons. You integrate with them. And for them, they work for you. They are always there. You didn't create them. You found them. They've always been there. They've always been a part of you. You just didn't see them. When you meet them, maybe you're meeting a piece of yourself, truly for the very first time. The shadow becomes the light. The thing that you think is dark is actually what brings you light. You have clarity, you have protection, you have power, all at your fingertips, and a ball that you can access magically anytime, day or night. It will be there because it's always been there. The fact that the commercials run super done in fast cuts with Pokemon running by, there's a lot of things going on here. There is trance induction, rapid visual stimuli bypass the conscious mind. There's hypnotic suggestion, things that go straight to the brain that you didn't pick up. There's possession states when the spirits move fast and you're integrating fast, when the shadow work accelerates. This happens faster than you think, and demons are already there. You're already meeting them. You just didn't realize that. You were trained to meet them from the time you were born, and generations back, and generations back. Every time you meet a new one, you meet a part of yourself that was always there. The demon is the light. The shadow completes you. When we look at this, it's the same process. Different language. Same truth. You're not being possessed by external demons. You're meeting the part of yourself that's always there. They've taught you the mechanics. And we have songs and spirituality that help us integrate the philosophy and the practice. Now, I ask you this. Is that the side you're on? Because that's one side to the story. And the other side to the story is, what if they aren't parts of ourselves? That was pretty convincing, right? And what if they want us to believe that these things that can be lost control of so easily, that are so free and have always been free until we decide to contract or bind them to use for our will in our battles? What if they truly are something that can't be controlled, but they in turn control us? What if it is in the biblical and the spiritual sense? What if this is all a shit show and they're trying to brainwash us that this is part of ourselves? We're integrating the shadow parts of ourselves. And this is not about negative about shadow work. I am all for shadow work. But the people that believe that the Pokemon are the shadows of ourselves, what if they're not? What if they are the demons? And there's one for every element. And there are things out there that we have to learn to fight or to embrace and understand, knowing that knowledge is power and knowledge has always been power. Just food for thought, bringing that to you tonight. Something that when I saw the commercial, it was very triggering for me for some reason. And I love my Pokemon, but I was trying to figure out why. And then I went down that rabbit hole and I found out why. So then my next question is this, because once you start going down the rabbit hole, you don't stop. You just keep following that rabbit. Drink time. Water. Still hydrating. So then I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, well, okay, this is a great commercial. You know, it's brainwashing either way, right? You don't know which side to believe in. You don't know whether, you know, the Pokemon are really demonic and they're just running around wild, causing a muckness with the human race, or if we really are reintegrating parts of our shadow that are parts of ourselves, right? But even go further than that. Why did Lady Gaga, why was her Pokemon Jigglypuff? That disturbed me. Of all of the things there, I'm like, why did Lady Gaga have Jigglypuff? So I've tried for 2 days to find out why Lady Gaga had Jigglypuff. And AI with the two platforms that I'm using aside from ChatGPT completely melted down yesterday. Not for me, but like worldwide, there was a meltdown. I'm assuming because it's Valentine's Day and, you know, people that, I don't know, AI boyfriends, girlfriends, who knows? But the whole platform went down and it melted. They described it as it melted down. And so I had to wait on my question. And then today everything was back up. Last night everything was back up and I put my question in there and it has tried for 2 days to answer me and it just now answered me. Super Bowl commercial with Pokemon. Jigglypuff is matched with Lady Gaga. Why? So Jigglypuff, if you don't know your Pokemon, is very cute. He's pink. He's puffy. He's like a pink cloud. He's cute. He's harmless. I say he. She's cute. She's harmless. Very feminine coded. Sings Jigglypuff. Very pretty on cue. Not the way I just did it. And her voice is very hypnotic like the sirens. And it puts people to sleep. That's what Jigglypuff does. She gets angry when she's ignored. She's very controlling. And she draws sleeping people's faces with markers. Draws on sleeping people's faces with markers. So she plays you as a fool. When you go to sleep, she does sigils and does things all over your face. She uses a microphone as a weapon. Now think about this. We're not just talking about the cute little pink puff, right? Because Lady Gaga says, she sings just like me. She has so many things that are exactly like me. Sometimes I think she is me. Feminine coded, singing primary job, hypnotic trance inducing, gets angry when ignored, has a microphone as a weapon, and uses the microphone as a marker to mark people who fall asleep. Symbolically, Jigglypuff has a hypnotic voice, a cute exterior with hidden aggression, looks very harmless, but punishes those people who don't pay attention. Performance is power. Singing is control. The soft feminine manipulation is used for to disarm and to make other people very vulnerable. Lady Gaga is a pop culture artist and icon. She has costumes. Her persona is power. She is very much controlled by the industry. the Illuminati symbolism, MK Ultra rumors, spirit cooking concoctions and connections. Her voice is a weapon. Her songs are everywhere, inescapable, hypnotic, and running through movies. She also does voice acting and she plays in movies. Her hypnotic voice was designed to be addictive, repetitive, and trance-inducing. She has a cute, safe exterior, but a very dark interior. She's Mother Monster, beloved by millions, but her imagery is very dark. The performance is power. She's never just herself. She's always a persona. She's an industry puppet. She's not creating freely. She's very directed by handlers, labels, and elites. So why did they match those two together besides what I just said? Hypnotic voice is mass control. Jigglypuff sings and puts you to sleep. Lady Gaga sings and puts you into a trance. Both are using sound as a weapon. Both control the weapon through the voice. When you hear Jigglypuff's song, you fall asleep, you lose consciousness, you become vulnerable. When you hear Lady Gaga's music, you enter the trance state. You have repetitive hooks, hypnotic beats, lyrics that are embedded into your subconscious. Same mechanism, same weaponry, different scale. Cute, safe exterior, hidden agenda. Jigglypuff looks harmless, pink, round, and very adorable. I mean, she is very, very cute. I have some Jigglypuffs at home. But it punishes you if you don't pay attention. Lady Gaga is marked, whoops, that was not good. Lady Gaga is marked safe. She loves her fans. She's an ally. She's inclusive. But her imagery is dark, occult, and controlled. Both disarm you with cuteness and appeal. Performance as an identity. Jigglypuff is always performing, always on stage. It doesn't exist outside its song. Lady Gaga is always performing. She's never what her birth name is. Never. She's always Lady Gaga. Always in costume, always on stage, always playing a character. Both are performance incarnate. Identify as tool, never real, always constructed. The microphone is a weapon. Jigglypuff uses a microphone, but it doubles as a marker. It draws on sleeping people's faces and marks them. Lady Gaga uses a microphone, but her music marks your subconscious. It embeds itself, and you cannot unhear it. Both use the mic as a tool of control, not just entertainment, but also influence. They get angry when ignored. Jigglypuff gets furious if you fall asleep during its song. It marks you, it punishes you. The industry, with Gaga as its vessel, does the same. If you ignore the programming, you don't consume the music, if you don't engage, you're marked an other. You're not part of the collective. You're outside of the trance. And that makes you a threat. The deeper message with the pairing is this. Pokemon represent this person. If you understand Jigglypuff, then you understand Lady Gaga. The hypnotic voice, the performances control, the cute exterior, the hidden agenda, the microphone as a weapon. In plain sight, because they know most people won't see it. Oh, that's fun. Look, Lady Gaga and Jigglypuff are both singing, and they're so cute together, and oh, aren't they sweet? But are they really? Why Lady Gaga specifically? I mean, you've got Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande, and a lot of other pop stars. Why specifically her? She is the most obviously controlled. Her imagery is blatant. One eye symbolism, Illuminati, all-seeing eye. The horns, demonic or Baphomet. The meat suit, sacrifice, flesh consumption. Spirit cooking concoctions. Marina Abramovic. MK Ultra themes, fractured identity, alter egos, and handler symbolism. She's the poster child for industry control. She's not hiding it. She's not displaying it. She's putting it in plain sight, flashing it. It's not just a billboard that you see as you walk by. It is a constant bombardment. There's always her picture in something that's always up. It's always there. Lady Gaga is a character. She is a performance artist. She is not a real person. She is a persona. Just like Jigglypuff is a character. Not real. A construct. Both are designed. Both are programmed. Both exist to perform a function. And both are beloved by the masses. She's been trusted. Both of them have been trusted to come into your home and to entertain you and to be a part of you. They are Trojan horses. So what's the Pokemon commercial really doing? So y'all thought I was like on the side of the Pokemon, right? So if Jigglypuff is Lady Gaga and you catch Jigglypuff, you're integrating with an archetype, hypnotic voice, performance as identity, a controlled persona, hidden agenda beneath cute exterior, microphone yielding as a weapon, punishment for those who ignore. You're not just catching a Pokemon. You're accepting that energy into yourself. And millions of people are watching this commercial, seeing Lady Gaga matched with Jigglypuff. Lady Gaga, Jigglypuff, hypnotic control. I love Lady Gaga. I love Jigglypuff. So I accept this. And the bind has been made. And think about that psychologically. So did we let in a part of ourselves that was always there? Or did we let in something else that we were told was always there that was a part of ourselves? And it really isn't. If you refuse the programming, if you look at this as a program and they are trying to manipulate our minds with commercials, don't catch the Jigglypuff. Don't integrate with that archetype. Don't accept the hypnotic voice as normal, the performance as identity, the hidden agendas beneath cute exteriors, and the microphone as a weapon. Reject that. Teach others the same thing where it's safe, of course. There's some environments you don't want to go into and do this. Not everyone will get it, but some people will. Plant the seed. Why do you think they matched this Pokemon with this star, with this singer, with this actor, with this speed runner, this cross-country star? And let them think. This is parasitic coding in my world. This is demonology at its finest. When you sit there and you see people who are obsessed with a pop star, they're obsessed with an idol, they're obsessed with a politician, they're obsessed with an actor or actress, a specific song that they can't get out of their head, that their whole life becomes a part of, and they can't break that. Hello, Shaman Sundays. Hello, hello, hello. So these people that are obsessed and they can't stop listening to a specific artist or a specific type of music. They feel that they're being controlled, but they don't know how and they don't know why. You've been marked by Jigglypuff. You receive the coding and you accepted it because you made the connection and you liked it. You were the fool that let down temporarily and became hypnotized and went to sleep. And the media is constantly doing this to us over every single thing that we have and every single thing that we do. So next time you see Lady Gaga's image, and this is not again against Lady Gaga at all, I'm just making an opinionated connection between a Pokemon and Lady Gaga that was on a commercial that someone else made and already made the connection. Ground, recognize it for what it is, shake it off, and don't let that frequency attach. Jigglypuff and Lady Gaga in a Super Bowl commercial that everybody's watching and talking about. Both have a hypnotic voice. Both have a cute exterior, hidden agenda. Their performance is their identity. Their microphone is their weapon. And they're punishing and marking those for ignoring. The match is intentional. The revealing is archetype. The programming is the masses. But you see it because you're awake and you're being shown. And I want you from here on out to start questioning and looking at the things that you see. And I want you to start going down that rabbit hole and finding out what it is that you need to know about so that you can grow in your life and not go further down the shitter with everybody else who's flushing themselves down. That was the big thing that I wanted to talk about tonight. I had marked that in a book to definitely talk about that. And it's just some pretty crazy stuff. And there's a lot more to come. There's a lot more to come like that. The other thing I was going to talk about is following that particular commercial was a Helmens commercial. And if you follow me or you subscribe to this channel, take the time to look up the full length Super Bowl Helmens commercial. And before I talk on that, DM me and tell me what you think. Without going to your Chat GPT or your Claude or your Kindred or any Kindroid or any of the other AI chat apps that you have. I want you to research it yourself without an AI app and see what you think. Watch the commercial a couple times, put it together yourself in your head, and DM me and tell me what you think. And because I want to entertain some discussions before I get on air about that. I feel the need to have the discussion with some people first before I get on air about that one. The other thing was a commercial that I said I wanted to talk about because these things just hit me deep. Like it really, it was a chord. It was a connection that I am well aware of subliminals in advertising. I was taught that. I took a psychology class in it. So I love the way they advertise and they get into people's minds and they make us think of things. And to me, that's absolutely fantastic. But this was just blatant. And I think when you start really seeing the connections into that world, it gets very, very scary. Not like living in fear scary, but like, man, they just are smoothing that right on in. And it's right there in public and nobody's getting it. Nobody's watching it. Nobody's seeing it. And I had conversations with several people who had seen the commercials and they were like, oh, it was a cute little Pokemon commercial, or, it was a Helmens commercial. And you're just kind of like, well, shit, that was pretty bad. I got that. I'm trying to find the religious commercial. Give me just a second. As again, I cannot run the commercial on this show, but I can reference it and you can go back and of course watch it. And I challenge you to do this. I could like sing while I'm doing this. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. That's probably copyrighted too. I did not think of that. Comments, questions? Anybody out there want to say hi? Hello. Hello, 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 hello. Apparently, I spend a lot of time on AI for me to find my thread. That's really scary. Oh, I think this was back before then. I think this goes back further. This is a commercial that with all of the alcohol commercials and the halftime shows and everything that was going on during the Super Bowl. I found this very intriguing. There was this one commercial that like paused everything, and there was just like a hush in the middle of it. Hi, Patty. How are you? Talking about that's what we're talking about. That mess that just came out of my mouth. The Pokemon commercial at the Super Bowl, and I was relating that to Lady Gaga and some other things. It's a very deep rabbit hole commercial. And then I was trying to find out religiously. I think I went the wrong way. There was also a commercial that set this whole thing in motion for me when I was watching the Super Bowl. I know I don't look like the kind of person that would watch the Super Bowl, right? I know. I did watch it though. Church of Coffee and Cigarettes. Hey, Patty. Hey, Julie. Hi. I love it. I love it. Go back and listen to the beginning. I'm halfway through. We were talking about Pokemon and them being, are they demonic? Are they part of ourselves that we're integrating? I gave both sides of it, and then I connected the dots for people who are unable to connect dots the way that I connect dots, which was interesting. But this commercial that I'm trying to find right now, I have too many things. And I did travel like all day today and yesterday to go to Cowtown, which was really awesome. Cowtown, Wisconsin, Wichita, Kansas. It's an amazing place. Great haunts, really neat, super cool place to go. Like, you need to go there. I'm back. You were talking to Katie. Hey, thanks, Greg. You missed my whole Pokemon spiel. It was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good. But I'm trying to find this one commercial thing. And seriously, I apparently talk to my AI a lot because I'm like now going through this. This is kind of crazy. Final word. Okay, that's always good. Well, that was not my final word because I'm an Aries, and nothing is ever my final word when I'm an Aries. There's always a final, and then there's a final again, and I'm gonna get this though, for real. Just hang in there with me. I'm still talking to everybody. Still talking to everybody. That doubled, that duplicated. Okay, that was interesting. Well, Pooters. I may not be able to find it. Now I'm going to have to go back and do another pod on that because it is definitely worth speaking out. We're both in Aries. Yes. We sometimes don't do what we're supposed to do. It's okay though. Sometimes we pour the gasoline and we forget to jump back when we light the match. Okay, that's Helmens. So I have not found it yet. That is so funny that I went back that far. Start watching your commercials though. Please start watching your commercials. They're so important. And there's so many things that are just really messed up within the connections that they're putting out there. And I don't think people see it. I just don't think that I think they're so subliminal. Even though now they're in plain view, I think people still think that they're subliminal, and or it's not going to affect them, or it doesn't affect their life, or they really don't know the difference. And I think all that combination is terrifying because we really don't know then what we're letting in, and that becomes an issue within itself. And when we let things in that we're not supposed to let in, then it's kind of like letting the proverbial the vampire that invites himself in at your door. Can I come in? Aren't you gonna let me in? And then we let them in, and then all hell breaks loose. Kind of like the music industry and Pokemon and everything else that we have that's going on out there. That's really what I had to say about that. Church of Coffee and Cigarettes. Patty, anything to say about any of that? About subliminals and things that we're being subjected to, and just the misinformation our brain is being fed to restructure us and keep us plugged into the matrix right now. And why is it so important? We talked about that too. Why is it so important to be connected to the matrix right now? Why is it they want to keep us plugged in at all times? Why do you think there's so many AI games? I'm very much aware of this. This is why I'm playing games, right? Why are there so many AI games and so many things to draw people in right now? You have to stop and think about that. There's a reason, because the veil's coming down and they do not want us to. They don't want us to see. They don't want us to know. We're not supposed to. And that makes a difference. So we're plugging ourselves in when we're signing up for all these games and we're doing things like that. And I use we because we is a delicate word that it makes us feel better when everybody's included. And I just went through my entire feed and it is not, unless I've missed it, it is not on my feed, which is very weird because my stuff's always like on my feed. Yep, apparently I'm going to have to go back and look that up. I apologize for wasting people's time on that one, but it really was good and I wanted to share it. But now I'm going to have to find it and I'm not sure where it was. It was right. I did Dorhiadora and I did it, and it should have followed Dorhiadora. And that's actually what I talked about last time. So I will go back and find that for you. But if anybody has any questions about that, I just wanted to get that out there. I don't know. It just seemed like an important podcast thought. We have lots of great things coming up. Like I said, calendar-wise, you will want to be there or be square with us. We have Pythian Castle coming up on the 15th, 14th, I believe it is. We have March, Pythian's Castle. We have the 27th and 28th, which is Haunted Wichita. Some of that, someone didn't want you to talk about that. I know, right? Oh, I'm sure, because it's like disappeared off my entire feed. Haunted Wichita is going to be the 27th and 28th of March. You'll want to be there, be square. We are also going to do a turnaround where we have to jump out of bed after doing the Haunted Wichita, which does end at midnight, which means we will be back in our rooms at 1 and maybe asleep by 2 or 3. And then we're going to jump up and we're going to load up all of our shit and we're going to KC Comic-Con. Yes, in costume. We are not presenting. We will just be walking around. I will be in my usual Psychopomp of Severance type of clothing. You will see me fully make-upped out and doing my own thing, having a blast and getting autographs because there's some cool people there. Corey Taylor from Slipknot's going to be there and a whole bunch of other people, like great voice acting and some other things. So in April, we still have, we have Sunday, the Comic-Con. We have the Bold Mansion. I have in May the Unholy Trinity tour. That's going to be the place where we do McIntyre Villa and we do the funeral parlor. And there's another place, can't remember. Sorry. Then we've got Pythian Castle again. And June, I don't have anything, and we'll stop right there because that's, the year's partway over, which is super exciting to me. We've had a lot of fun things. Remember what we talked about last week when we talked about your foundation, and this is going to be like the next 10 days. Of course, we're almost done with this 2 weeks, but by the end of February, we've got some big shit kicking off. The 17th, the 20th, the 26th are going to be major days, and your foundation needs to be set if you follow astronomy so that your foundation is set for the next, uh, you know, 30, 30 years, next 30 years. So, you want your foundation to be good and strong in the next 30 years. So it's time you clear out your house and get rid of everything that's cracking your foundation, which means doing your spiritual work and also doing your work to be a better person in life. And this has become very philosophical. And I'm 10 minutes early, but if anybody has any questions, please get on the air. If you're still watching us, go ahead and hit that like and share button and stay tight with us because we have a lot more really exciting things to come on this podcast. I'm going to run some paranormal footage of things we've got. Now that I'm figuring out how to do these things and I'm getting more technical in what I'm doing, I want to share some files with y'all, share some pictures with you all, and share some experiences with you all. So if there's no further questions from my people that are on the air, I will let you go 10 minutes early tonight because, there's times we stay up until 4 hours after the podcast has started. So tonight's an early ending for you all. Please, please, please take care of yourself this next week. The weather's going to be beautiful. Don't do anything stupid while you're out in it. Use your wise mind. Allow your heart to speak. You're back. It's fishing time. I know. I love it. I love it. Chill out. Love yourself. Love your family. Be grateful for each and every day because just the fact that we got up this morning is better than probably half the population. Take it easy. Love you, Patty. Love you, Church of Coffee and Cigarettes. Love you, Greg. Everybody who's on Shaman Sundays. I could not do this without you. I could not do this without you. Thank you again for allowing me to do this and for listening to me ramble every week. It is my absolute pleasure. Get some rest. Stay safe. Have a safe week. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next week at the same bat time, same bat station. Good night, y'all.